What if I told you you can have another life in another world with their own systems and rules and own elements you can harvest? What if I told you you could be the hero who beats the dreaded dragon? What if you are the trainer and you're gonna be the best and catch them all? And what if you want to use the Force? What if you can do all that with your friends and join a quest and the only limitation is your own imagination? Or if you look at someone else's eyes, it's just a bunch of geeks and nerds surrounding in a table and hallucinating. Tabletop role-playing games. That has been very popular nowadays. That has started to be more mainstream. More people I know are starting to get into it, and more people just want to play it. That's a good thing, right? Is tabletop role-playing games good, actually? Is it good for the world? Is it good for us? And why should you consider playing it? Well, I have gathered 9 people to interview and ask one question. Why you should roll with tabletop playing games. So let's start off with this. What exactly is TTRPGs? The best way to describe it would be it's a game running in a system. Usually this comes in a book or a PDF of sort with how to make characters, how rolling works, what weapons are in the world, etc, etc. With that system, a group of people comes around and play with their respected character. Except one, who would basically be the all-being of this game, aka Game Master, or GM if you want to shorten it, who the players will interact with the GM in the story written by the GM. If you had to think of it like a novel or sort, think of it as the Game Master is the novelist, where they are writing the story and everything, and the players are the sentient characters who are also interacting with the story without a whole fourth wall breaking and everything. And now the Game Masters and players are trying to write a one big story together. Keep in mind, it's not you versus the GM, nor vice versa. Even though GM plays the enemies in the game, GM also plays the good guys, the anti-heroes, the monsters who don't want to fight, every NPCs, non-playable characters. The GM is playing everyone but you and your party members. And depending on the story, this game can have a different playtime. One game could just be 4 hours, some can go for years. Heck, one game I was in took over 4 years to finish. 4 years. Of course, you're not playing in one sitting, that's just ridiculous. It's more of a timely basis, once a week or bi-weekly, and every sitting you play 2 to 4 hours or something like that. But why even play if it could take forever to finish a campaign? I'll be honest, I forgot to ask that question. I'm a great journalist, I swear. For now, let's put that question aside and instead ask something else. Where do we even meet? Well, to be honest, originally this game was played locally, where people just gather around on the table, have their own dice, resources and everything, and start playing the game. But thanks to online and internet and resources like Roll20 and Fantasy Ground, playing online has been easy, much more accessible, you could say. But is it better or more preferred to play locally or online? Well, according to the majority I interviewed, digital is preferred.
So I've played both in person and online. More recently, I've been playing online, and I actually feel like that can be better because it gives everyone in the game the opportunity to have resources pulled up that they might not have in-person access to because of cost restraints or anything like that. It also gives you a chance to meet and play with people from all over. In one game I'm in, we've got players all across the United States and a player on the other side of the world. So it's a great opportunity playing online to just meet other people and experience different things.
Yes, when it comes to online, there are some cons. Internet lag or broken, device you use is broken, etc., etc. But when it comes to resources, the time management and just accessibility, online is better in that department. Plus, let's be honest here, finding a community to play with is easier online than asking family and friends or locals to play this role-playing imagination game. Majority has agreed on this statement, especially when it comes to your own family members. Which makes sense because you're asking people to role-play someone else in the game. Right? I mean, it's unanimous. Everyone agrees and everyone role-plays in the game. It's part of the game. It's a charm of the game. But are you really role-playing someone else, or are you just playing yourself that just so happen to be in another world? Well, according to everyone, kinda, but not really.
Brendan Lee Mulligan has a beautiful metaphor that I'm going to do injustice, as I said, but he said that every one of your RPG characters is you reflected through a stained glass window. You know, the character might not look like you, the character might not sound like you, the character might not have anything to do with you, but at the end of the day, it is somewhat a distorted or, a different way of looking at you. And I firmly believe that. I actually got into a bit of like an argument with someone on TikTok where they were like, because I mentioned, I think we all have bits of ourselves in our characters. And they were like, why would I ever want to be myself? And I was like, it's you though. No matter, you created it. You literally crafted this character. Some piece of you is going to be in it. In my opinion, at least how I play. So yes, the characters I play are normally people who I am not, right? Are personality traits and types that I'm fascinated by, but that I don't see myself in. But what always ends up happening is that as I play them more, I'm like, oh wait, I'm kind of like this. Like for example, my artificer that I play with. He's brilliant. I don't think I'm that, brilliant. But the more I play him, the more I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not as dumb as I thought, I think you learn a lot through playing a character. And I'm more comfortable with acknowledging that little pieces of me are in each of my bubbles.
So basically, you are playing a fragment of yourself in the characters you made, which is very interesting because according to people I interviewed, what people play and how they roleplay is totally different from one another. For example, some like to distance themselves from who they are from real life so that they are someone else, while some just try to play somewhere close to themselves so that they can, relate to the character and think like the character more. For example, if they are human male, they try to play elf female to just distance themselves as much as possible from them. Or if they are lizard folk, human. I know who you guys are. We know who you are. You can't escape us, you know that, right? We know. But there's also some people who like to play human because they can only feel like they can roleplay them properly and not other races. But then there's also people who like to play other races so that they feel like they're playing with a different mindset. There's a whole different answers for whole different people. If you ask me personally, I just play the character that I feel is right. I'm not saying nothing is right or wrong, don't get me wrong, but if I feel like playing a character with this background story and in my mind it just pop up that it's a human male sword fighter. If I want to play a female cat samurai, I want to play that. Just whatever I feel like just sits right with the story I'm trying to tell for my own character. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just saying I feel like this is right. Speaking of story, you are playing in a story where GM has set in stone for. So the world building is part of the story. So there will be conflicts, wars, areas where one type of race is higher than others, but also things like politics, racism, sexism, and everything like that. But we are also playing a game, and some people want to use games to escape from these things for a while. So adding them is not gonna help with these escapism, right? Should adding them make or break the game? This one was a mixed bag. Some say you need it, some say you don't. Some say the story can only be interesting with these kind of conflicts and world building and everything. And some say, no, you don't really need that because we could just say evil is evil. Let's defeat evil. But no matter who you ask, no matter how you tell your story and how you world build, everyone has agreed on one thing. Before you tell the story, you need to have consent.
First off, that needs to be a conversation that everybody has with their group and what they're comfortable with. The way I will say it is in my games, I outright say we are not going to deal with the real world politics. Those are conversations you need to have outside of the game because even friends can get into a heated debate. Inside of the world, I would say I try to avoid them, but I find that two groups of people are going to have conflict if there is a resource they both want. That starts as maybe a conflict over hunting rights, but over generations, that becomes hate of a different variety. And so it can be there, and if the group is comfortable with it and can handle it emotionally, it can add a certain amount of realism to a dramatic game. But it should always be remembered that you are telling a story with your friends, and no one should ever be chased away from the table because they feel like they were insulted or that their actual feelings were hurt.
And at the end of the day, we are playing video games, spending hours and years of our time for one thing: fun. We want to explore the stories. We want to do things we can't in real life. We want to do something to escape our own life, to be theirs. It's to the point people talk about TTRPGs in YouTube and TikTok and making small skits and everything because it's just fun. These games can be fun. Yes, there's a whole argument of finding the right people that are not toxic and everything. It took me a while to find them myself, truthfully speaking. But once you find them, once you find these people who really loves playing and really nice to play with, it gets so fun. It's fun. You be in a world where, yes, you're in a story and yes, there will be traumas, but you are also in a world where you just love to be in. Something that you dreamt to be in yourself. Something that you can experience. months. So, I have a question. Are you gonna roll for it?